Let's break down what this means for you, for the housing market, and why government policy might actually be masking how bad things really are. Now, Equifax calls this section the credit divide, and it's exactly that. People with mortgages versus people without mortgages. Mortgage holders are tightening their belts and somehow keeping up, probably because they have equity in their houses. On the other side, non-mortgage households are cracking. Total consumer debt hit $2.58 trillion in Canada, but mortgage holders managed to slow their borrowing. Meanwhile, auto loans jumped up over 10% and credit card balances were up nearly 6% and installment loans were up more than 3%. Translation here, if you don't own a house, you're probably leaning on credit cards and car loans just to keep up with everyday life. And this is where the pain is starting to show in the consumer market outside of homeownership. Again, on homeownership, Canada's mortgage space is an equity-based loan environment. And so people keep pulling on their houses, using their houses as an ATM, taking some of that equity out through a HELOC or whatever format it is, maybe a private loan, and using that to square up other debt. Now, here's the scary part. Delinquency is rising fastest outside of mortgages. People usually protect the roof over their head until the very end, right? It's typically the last debt that people will go delinquent on. So what do they let slide before they stop paying their mortgage? Typically credit cards, auto loans, unsecured lines of credit. And according to the report, credit card delinquency is now 3.8%, auto loans around 1.1%, while mortgages are still around 0.22%, a very low number. But I'm of the opinion that this is an artificial stability, and I'll explain why in a sec. Now, young Canadians are getting crushed here by comparison to everyone else. The delinquency demographics chart shows that Gen Z and late millennials under 36 have a delinquency rate of 2.35%, way above older age groups, especially those older age individuals who have equity in their houses. Ontario and Alberta are really ground zero for this. The high cost of living, weak job prospects, expensive housing markets, it's created the perfect storm. People moving to Alberta actually had delinquency rates 26% higher than movers to other provinces. So migration, people trying to go to a different province to save their unaffordability woes in Ontario or BC hasn't been this magic solution where the debt load follows you wherever you go. And if you can't figure out how to make things work better in a different province, then you're not paying down that debt and it's not solving your economic problems just because you're in a city that you thought was more affordable. Now, let's zoom in on mortgages a little bit.